And we're live.
Hello, everybody. We are back with another episode of the Antler Queens. I am Media Melanie here with.
I'm Kelly Geist. Hello.
And today we are going to cover Yellowjackets, Season 1, Episode 6, Saints. But you know what? Before we dive in, we just want to share a little tidbit of some Yellowjackets cast news. We heard that Christina Ricci is starring in a new horror movie called Monstrous. It is described as a woman and her son encounter a terrifying monster after running away from her abusive husband. And it actually premiered overseas at a festival on March 12th, but it is slated for premiere here on May 13th. So I'm excited. I mean,
I am too.
It's another horror movie, right? So this is like so on brand for, what Christina Ricci is doing right now with Yellowjackets. So
yeah,
highly anticipated on my end.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I mean, I'm like, I'll watch almost anything horror, even if it's terrible. But I love Christina Ricci, and this actually looks pretty good. So I'm kind of excited.
It does. I'm going to add it to my watch list.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, why don't we just dive right into the episode? Kelly, who are the directors and writers from Saints?
Okay, so we're covering Saints today, and the director is Billy Woodruff, and the writers are Ashley Lyle, Bart Nickerson, and Chantel Wells. The description is: the girls tangle with the birds and the bees, navigating love, lust, and DIY surgery. In the present, blackmail, bunnies, and an icy reunion. Misty prepares for a house guest.
Whew, lots of action ahead.
Yeah.
And the episode starts in a flashback. We can tell that it's 1989. It is Lottie is a little girl sitting in the car with her parents, and she is brushing her My Little Pony's hair. We normally touch upon a 90s moment in each episode. I personally played with My Little Ponies in the 80s. However, they do mention the Exxon Valdez. We know it's 1989. So my nostalgia moment is right here at the top, and it's My Little Pony. I played with them when I was younger. I loved them, and I love to see it here, even though I identify as more 80s with that.
I never really got into the My Little Ponies as much, but I do remember that I had one of the stuffed ones. Do you remember like the plush?
Yes.
Right. Yeah, I did have one of those, but yeah, I was obsessed with pound puppies back then.
Oh my God. I loved pound puppies too. And pound purries.
Yes.
Oh, so cute. Anyway, back on track to Yellowjackets here. Lottie's sitting in the back of her car. She's a little girl, 1989, brushing her My Little Pony, and she starts having a panic attack and screaming. Her parents are driving. They get distracted, obviously, and they don't go through the green light because of her screaming. All of a sudden, this major accident happens right in front of them. And we can speculate that, if they had gone through the light, if she had not screamed, they probably would have been involved in this fatal accident. So it was kind of crazy, seeing her reaction, the screaming, the accident, and, giving us more insight into Lottie's history and, how she's maybe come upon or how she's always been, gifted in some sense.
Yeah. And, okay, first of all, I need to comment on the casting. This little girl, she looks exactly like her.
Yes. Yes. Another example of impeccable casting.
Yeah. It's crazy. I thought this girl has to be related, and I looked her up, and no, she's not. She just looks a lot like her. But yeah, it was interesting how she kind of she just went back to happily brushing her My Little Pony right afterwards. Like she was totally that was totally normal.
Yeah, nothing ever happened, right?
Yeah. yeah, it was really strange.
Crazy. And then, they get back home and her parents are kind of like arguing about what happened. And her father thinks she needs a psychiatrist, but her mom thinks it's, something supernatural. So here we
Mhm.
are again with the battle of, is it supernatural? Is it not? Is it a psychological thing? We're still kind of unpacking that. But this, opens up in a very strong way, giving us this background into Lottie.
Yeah.
Um, and then we move into another past timeline. We have some of the girls out looking for berries. They can't find any. And, Lottie says that some animals live off of eating their own vomit. Fun fact. And then Mari ends up saying, did Dead Cabin Guy tell you that? Or do you guys just chat about blood and stuff? So this, conversation is very interesting. And then Lottie has a good one. She says, no, we mostly talk about how Danny Mears dumped you for his own cousin. And Mari says, hey, they're second cousins, and that's totally legal, awkward. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I would never date one of my second cousins ever. Like, why would that even be a consideration? There's like millions of other people out there. So that was a funny interaction.
Hey, I mean, it's New Jersey. It's like, everybody knows each other. It's from what I understand of New Jersey. Anyway, I don't want to offend anyone who's from New Jersey, but it's like you probably run out of people to date after a while.
I mean, maybe the dating pool is small. I don't know. And
Yeah.
again, no offense to anybody from New Jersey.
Yes, no offense.
No offense
I've
whatsoever.
just heard it's very small townish.
Okay. All right. Bedroom communities, as they call them.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Lottie sees this deer hallucination that's, it's shedding. And Van comes over to check on her. And we realize that the deer is actually a hallucination. It's
Yeah,
not even there.
Yeah, it just disappears like when Van comes over.
So another hallucination, right? I mean, we've had the Michael Jackson guy hallucination. We've had, Ty seeing the wolf hallucination. So this is another instance where one of the girls is seeing something that's not there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then the deer reappears when Van leaves. And then we cut to the present. And Shauna, it's nighttime, and Shauna is showing up at Natalie's motel. And she runs into Randy Walsh, who we previously saw the younger version of in the pilot, I believe. He was the guy that Jackie wanted, Jeff's best friend, who Jackie wanted her to hook up with, and he dedicated his belch to Shauna.
Oh my God, that was gross.
But yeah, grown up Randy is a treat. He said he was staying at the motel because his wife Tammy kicked him out. They're going through one of their little divorces. And then he says right after that, might be cheaper to keep her.
Oh my God. His poor wife.
But my favorite part of this, though, was he lifts up his shirt and shows her this tattoo, this Yellowjacket tattoo. And he's like, whiskey I caught till I die.
Oh my God. I wonder if he got it when they were younger or if he just got it like, since it's the big 25th anniversary of the plane crash. I mean, how long has he had this tattoo? Why did he get it? Are you still living in high school, Randy? So many questions.
I know. I can't say I've ever known anybody who's had a high school themed tattoo on their body.
No.
I mean, my high school mascot was Meteor Man.
Oh,
who had
that
like
is
a giant meteor for a head. I definitely would not get that tattooed on my body.
That's fascinating. Mine was the King Philip Warriors, the high school that's actually featured in The Girl from Plainville, but they changed excuse me, they changed our school colors on the TV show. We used to be green and gold, and now it's like maroon and something. But anyway, still don't know anybody with a high school related tattoo. If you have one, hey, let us know. That's interesting. Yeah. You and Randy are, in it together.
So Shauna brings up her book club again to Randy and uses that as her alibi. She's parking there because parking where her book club is a little too hectic. But she goes to Natalie's room and she walks in and she and Natalie are a little snippy with each other. She asks if Natalie asks if Jeff is still hawking futons. um,
What an
and
insult too. Like furniture sales guys. It's like
I know.
poor
And
Jeff.
they but when they first walk in, Natalie's like, "You look like shit," and Sean's like, "Likewise." And it almost seems like kind of an affectionate like snippiness, but yeah, I don't know. But Shauna immediately sees the crime scene and autopsy photos that they were looking at. And Taissa mentions that they think it's the same person they think whoever killed Travis is the same person who's blackmailing them. And Shauna has no idea what they're talking about. And they ask if she got a postcard. She says no, but she and Natalie, Taissa, and Misty all did, but Shauna did not. She knows nothing about it. But they show her the postcard, and Natalie thinks that it's probably the reporter, Jessica Roberts. And this, like, I still have a lot of questions about the relationship between Taissa and Jessica. And Shauna reminds Ty here that she told her to take care of her. And she told her to take care of her when they were at the diner too. Like, almost like Shauna knew what was going on with her. So hopefully we'll get some more of those questions answered in season 2. I don't know. But yeah, Taissa says she threatened Jessica and told her to back off. She threatened to sue her. And Natalie decides that she's going to call Jessica and lure her there and let her know she's ready to tell her story. But Shauna and Ty, again, this is like adding to the questions that I have. Shauna and Ty are immediately like, no, don't do it. Don't get her involved. If she's not already involved, you're just handing her the story that she wants.
Highly suspect, right? They're very nervous about Jessica Roberts.
Yeah, exactly. And they talk about it some more, and they decide that they're going to deliver the cash to the blackmailer, along with a tracking device.
It's very FBI of them, by the way.
Yeah.
Shauna's putting her Homeland Security skills to good use.
Yes, exactly. They talk about whether or not to loop Misty in, and Shauna has a great line here. Natalie tells her that she did take her to see Travis, but after she messed with her car first. And Shauna's like, "Oh, okay. Well, is there anything else I should know about, or just the blackmail? Travis may be being murdered, and this one playing buddy cop with Misty fucking Quigley just about cover it."
My favorite thing is when they refer to Misty, like the majority of the time it's Misty fucking Quigley. Like, yes. MFQ, right? Like we should abbreviate that. Like Misty fucking Quigley. Almost 90% of the time they say it, and I love it every time they do.
I do too. Another shirt idea.
Yes, Misty fucking Quigley. Yes, MFQ. I love it. Oh my god.
Yes. And then we just have a brief scene where Misty is leaving work and tells Val she's going to bring in cronuts the next day.
Good old cronuts.
Yes. But she's going out to her car after work, and she's loading a bag into her car that's full of meds and syringes. So that's kind of interesting.
She's got something up her sleeve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would not want to be the one whoever's on her mind.
No, never.
And this next scene is a little confusing, and I'd like to know your thoughts on this.
Okay.
So Shauna is back at home, and she's in her PJs, kind of looking a little disoriented. And she's staring at this postcard, but she said she didn't get one. So did she suddenly get one? Did she get one and lie about it? Or did she take one of the others? I don't know if we're supposed to understand.
It's a really good question. And actually, it was posed recently in the Yellowjackets Facebook discussion group. I think a
Oh,
lot of people didn't pick up on the fact that she was even looking at it. Like, people missed the scene because people were asking kind of the same thing, where did the postcard come from? Did she get one? And then people responded, well, there was that scene with her looking at one. So, you know what? I have no idea what the intention is behind that. It makes me think that somehow she's involved, right? I mean, why
yeah.
would she lie about it? Like, why lie about it? There has got to be a reason she's lying about it, because knowing everybody else had one, there's no reason to lie. I don't know. But there's obviously something going on here. Highly suspect.
Yeah, it's the only one that I haven't really had any suspicions about up to this point has been Natalie. So I'm just assuming that come season 2, we're gonna find out Natalie is just behind everything.
Although, spoiler alert, we know something happens at the
Yes.
very end. So we can maybe talk about that a little at the end in our spoiler segment. But
Yes.
yeah, it's they're this whole mystery box format. They're just creating all these mysteries and creating more questions as we go. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Let us know your theories. Come
Yeah.
hit us up on Twitter and tell us.
Yeah, and I think it's just all of this is just kind of obviously weighing on Shauna because Jeff comes down and he's dressed, ready to start his day, and he's like, "Are you ready to go to brunch with the Taylors?" And she says, "No, that's not until Wednesday, or it's not until Tuesday." And he's like, "No, brunch is today, Wednesday. Do you think it's Monday?" And
Mm-hmm.
so she's like, she's completely out of it. So I don't like. I think she's going through some shit right now.
Definitely going through some shit. 100%. And kind of speaking of that, we go back to the past timeline and we see Shauna having a dream. At first, we're not sure, like, is it a dream? Is it not? So she has she has a dream that she gives birth to a chicken baby and is eating it. So that was interesting. Misty was there with her helping. I think Ty was there helping deliver the baby, and it was a chicken, and she started eating it. So that was an interesting dream. But again, to confirm, the writers have actually confirmed that they do not eat the baby in the show. So we can say, even though we see a dream with her eating the chicken baby, they actually will not eat the baby on the show. So don't worry, no babies will be eaten in the filming of Yellowjackets.
Yes, Melanie Linsky said she would quit if anyone ate Shauna's baby.
Yes. So don't worry. Like, the chicken baby, just a dream. No big deal.
I just
Um,
love that. I love that Jackie is like when she's giving birth. Jackie's like, he looks just like his father.
oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, that's right. It was Jackie that was there with Misty. It wasn't
Jackie and
Ty. That's
Misty.
right. That's
Yeah.
right. Okay. And then, we stick around in the past timeline after we see the chicken baby dream. Ty and Van are skinny dipping. They're kind of goofing around in the lake, super cute. And this is when we hear of Ty's plan to leave and start heading south. She is convinced it's their only chance for survival. Van is very opposed to this. They get back to the cabin. Ty goes up to the attic and asks Shauna, "Oh, what was it this time? A cheeseburger, baby?" So, obviously this has been a recurring dream for Shauna. I mean, God, they're out in the wilderness. They're starving. So, I mean, you have weird dreams when you're pregnant anyway. So I think combined with, like, the hunger and the situation and the trauma, clearly it's manifesting into some kind of crazy dreams for her. So anyway, this time it was a chicken baby, not a cheeseburger, but, nice of Ty to ask. And, Shauna's kind of considering, like, doing a DIY abortion. And here is when she confesses to Ty that the baby is actually Jeff's. And, the look on Ty's face was like, whoa, was not expecting that. And,
Yeah.
Ty begs her not to abort the baby. Like, it's going to be easier just getting the truth out there, but there's no need to harm yourself. There's no need to go this route. So, Ty is being a really good friend for Shauna. And then we go back to the present again.
Yeah. And Shauna and Jeff are at the Taylor's house for Jackie's birthday. I guess they do this every year. And I just want to point out Jackie's dad, Mr. Taylor, bears a strong resemblance, at least in my opinion, to Harold, the meme guy, the hide the pain Harold.
Oh my God.
I just, as soon as I saw him, that's all I couldn't unsee it.
Yeah, I've not seen Hide the Pain Harold, but when you pointed it out, there are definitely some striking similarities between the two. So
Yes.
really, really good observation, Kelly, as usual.
But and also I want to comment on those croissants that were on the table. Those croissants looked fucking delicious.
They do look really good paired with those nice mimosas. I mean, it looks like a really nice brunch minus Jackie's mom, who's a complete bitch.
Oh my God, she's just awful.
The worst.
And I love it. Jackie's mom hands Shauna a gift, and she says, I know it's silly to keep doing this, but what's a birthday without presents? So it's almost like, Shauna is acting as some kind of weird substitute for Jackie. And she gives her a ceramic bunny. So apparently that's where all of Shauna's ceramic bunnies came from.
And we've seen a lot of them. I mean, even in this episode alone in the kitchen, like you see them in the background. The bunnies are very prominently figured. And here's another one. And now we know they're from Mrs. Taylor.
Yes. And Mrs. Taylor said Jackie just loved rabbits, which I wanted to point that out because of the next time we see the past timeline. It's kind of a funny statement.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole time they're sitting there, Shauna keeps getting text messages from Adam, which she's completely ignoring. And Miss Taylor is just a fucking awful human being.
She's the biggest bitch ever.
Oh my God.
Terrible. I mean, okay, just, also she lost her daughter, and that is terrible, traumatic, all of that stuff. But that does not give you an excuse to be like the worst queen bitch there is.
Oh God, no. And I mean, you can't compare losing a child to losing your childhood best friend.
No.
But still, I mean, in addition to just not taking out your shit on somebody else, I mean, you're this person whose loss you've been mourning most of your life is the best friend of the person you're taking it out on. So, I mean, it's really fucked up. But she had some real gems during this dialogue, which I wanted to share. She said she always worried about you finding someone, Shauna. Silver linings are I suppose. You two are a better match. You don't want more than, well, what you have. And this is great. She says she doesn't mean that in a bad way. She means it's all nonsense, this talk about having it all. The fact is, you just can't be remarkable and raise a family.
I wanted to punch the TV when she said that, because like I feel like, I'm remarkable and I'm raising a family. Like, who is she? Like everyone has their own measurement or level of happiness, and it is not for any one of us to be throwing shade upon somebody else's life. So that was terrible.
I know. And I love that she prefaced that last statement with, "Oh, I don't mean that in a bad way."
I mean, come on. It's like when you say honestly before you say something, and that means it's probably a lie. I mean, please.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Whatever.
And Jackie's dad says, "And you're the mother of such a special little child." And Shauna immediately cuts in with, "I don't even like my daughter."
I loved that. And it's funny because like Jeff is trying to like make it seem like it's like some inside joke or whatever, but it's definitely not. She does not like Kelly.
No, she doesn't. And what's funny is she says that. And then right after that, Jackie's mom says, "She reminds me so much of Jackie at that age." And Shauna's just like, yeah.
2 peas in a pod.
Yeah. And and another gem from Mrs. Taylor. Callie's got college coming up, doesn't she? It's so expensive now. Jeff works hard, but he's the only one that contributes.
Oh, God. Bitch.
I know. And then she offers to help them out with Callie's college financially. It's such a weird relationship. It really is.
Very strange.
It's like they want Shauna to be their surrogate daughter. It's really odd. But
Or like beholden to them, or maybe they blame her in some way for her death. We don't know, but
I mean, I personally think it's just kind of their way of staying connected to Jackie. Like they haven't truly let go of her, but Jackie's mom is such a bitch that it's just not going to go well. I don't even know that she necessarily harbors any resentment towards Shauna. I think she's just a bitch, and she would be like that with anybody. But
good point.
Shauna's there because that's her way of trying to hold on to Jackie. I don't know. That's just my theory. But yeah, Shauna immediately shoots down the financial assistance.
Yep. Jeff and I have it covered, she says.
And Jeff looks a little terrified when she says that.
Yeah. Yep. And then, the look that she's giving her husband, like, can you believe this crazy bitch? Like,
I know. Like, we're so nice to this woman and she doesn't want our help. Like, she's just giving these death glares to her husband that, are clearly about Shauna. It's just, like, so Shauna, very intelligently excuses herself to the bathroom, which was, a good move. I think anybody
the best thing she could do.
Yeah.
Situation. 100%. Yes. And then we move back to another past timeline. We see Jackie and Shauna walking through the woods and, Jackie saying, I never thought I'd be desperate enough to eat a rabbit. Oh, well, I mean, what even is a rabbit? A squirrel with floppy ears and a pom-pom on its ass. I mean, not a bad observation. Bunnies are definitely cuter than squirrels, but they're all rodents. Let's face it.
Yeah. But, it's funny because she's kind of dissing rabbits here. And Mrs. Taylor was all like, Jackie just loved rabbits. So, like, is Shauna getting all these dumb ceramic bunnies for no reason?
Right. I mean, is Mrs. Taylor just completely not self-aware at all or aware of what her daughter actually liked? I mean, it's kind of bizarre. So I wonder why she thought Jackie liked rabbits so much when clearly, she's calling it a squirrel with a pom-pom on its ass. So
it's too bad that she didn't think that Jackie loved whiskey or money.
Money, right? Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is with all the rabbits, like even though she's getting them as gifts, the Taylors are probably never over at Shauna's house. So why is she displaying them? Like maybe it's guilt, maybe it's, I mean, someone gives you a gift, you feel bad getting rid of it, but like she's got a lot of them on display. I don't know if I would personally do that, but it's a choice. She made the choice. Bunnies everywhere. And then, Jackie starts talking about how much she misses Jeff and how he told her that he loved her the day before they left, which is funny because, Shauna also had Jeff tell Shauna that he loved her while they were doing it in the Jeep after dropping Jackie off. And, this kind of catches Shauna off guard a little bit. And then she starts to feel faint. And, Jackie, being the super kind friend that she is, gives Shauna her last piece of jerky.
Yeah. And, I love these moments where, because Jackie's so self-centered, but she also really does care about Shauna. I mean, she has a big heart when it comes to her. And I like that. I like these moments where we get to see that.
Absolutely. Because, a lot of times it's like these backhanded things, like kind of like her mom a little bit, right? Like you can see some similarities between Jackie and her mom in terms of, attitude. So yes, these little moments are a welcome change and, nice to see Jackie doing something kind.
Yeah. I kind of jokingly, I wasn't really too serious about it, but when we covered the pilot, I talked about how I thought there was almost a little, like, it almost seems like a little shippy moment when Shauna and Jackie smiled at each other at the pep rally. And, I wasn't really too serious about that, but part of me still wonders, just because she's so different with Shauna than everybody else. Part of me wonders if she like actually had feelings for her or something,
Oh, that could totally be like a girl crush, right? I mean, yeah, I can see that. I can totally see that. Shacky.
Yeah. Shacky. I like that.
Yes, yes, yes. And speaking of ship names, our next scene goes back to the past, and we see Traddly, very clever, making out in the excuse me, making out in the plane, and it's a little bit awkward, but it's a really sweet moment. You can see them looking into each other's eyes. They clearly have an attraction to each other, and then they end up returning to camp holding hands. And Mari says, "Hey Nat, what exactly are you and Flex out there hunting anyway?" And I love this line. Van says, "I hear it's beaver season." Another Van one-liner. Beaver season. Thank you for that little gem, Van. Love it.
Oh, she's so
Yes, her and her one-liners are just incredible.
I know.
Excuse me. And then we have Jackie back to being a complete bitch to Nat. And she's asking her, "Is this why we don't have any food? You've been too you've been too busy running for the mayor of Pound Town," which I thought was a really good one by Jackie.
Yeah.
And then she's like, says, "Oh, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Nat's always down for a good time, right? Like, come on, let's not be slut shaming people here. Like, or maybe not even slut shaming, party shaming, I guess you whatever you want to call it. Like, stop shaming Nat. Like, you're in high school, get over it."
Well, I
And
think there might be a little bit more to it than that, which which we'll get to in the next present timeline.
oh yes.
But I think there might be an ulterior reason as to why Jackie's just really annoyed with Natalie right now.
Staring into her, yes. And then, they go back and forth. Nat says she can't magically conjure a deer, but keep talking shit. I'll find something to shoot. And Jackie's like, "I'm not scared of you, burnout." And Nat says, "No, you're jealous because you're an uptight, prudish little bitch." And then Misty whispers to Nat, "I have a secret boyfriend too." Like, oh my God, Misty. I can't even. I can't even with Misty. It's
Mm.
crazy. Like, I mean, she actually thinks that, Coach Ben is her secret boyfriend, which, I mean, he did say, he'll wait for her and, da 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 da. But, I mean, talk about not having a good grasp on reality.
Yeah.
And then back to the present again.
Man. Yeah. So Taissa is at home on the phone with her bank, and she's trying very unsuccessfully to take out the blackmail money from their account, and the bank isn't letting her. They want her wife's signature because it's a large amount. But she's not going to get any help from Simone on this because Simone is a little pissed off at her right now.
Super pissed.
Yeah, she's not happy with the fact that Taissa just completely shifted gears and went from calling a press conference to announce that she's dropping out of the race to saying that she's like in it, fully committed now. So Simone's feeling a little betrayed. And she says, she's also a little upset about how absent Tice has been. And she says she's taking Sammy to see a child psychologist about his recent behavior. And if she cares, she'll be there. So yeah, it's Tice is kind of in the doghouse with her wife right now.
A lot of tension in that household.
Yes.
A lot of tension. And, speaking of households with tension, we then go back to the past timeline. We see Shauna again at Jackie's house, but this time, she had excused herself to go to the bathroom, and she actually went into Jackie's room, and, she's in there just looking around. She picks up her journal, and, she's looking at some of the pages, and we start seeing some top 10 lists, right? We have her Jackie's top 10 list of tunes. There are some real gems on there, including "Wannabe" by Spice Girls, "Killing Me Softly" Fugees, "Always Be My Baby" Mariah Carey, "Ironic" Alanis Morissette, my favorite on the list, "Doing It" LL Cool J, 1979.
That's probably my favorite.
Yep. Oh my God, doing it.
I
Yeah.
love that song.
We have 1979 by Smashing Pumpkins, "Wonderwall" by Oasis. Of course, we've heard Wonderwall mentioned in the funeral for one of the Yellowjackets earlier in the episodes. Because You Loved Me, Celine Dion, Give Me One Reason, Tracy Chapman, and Who Do You Love by Deborah Cox. I felt it was important to read all of those because we love our 90s moments, and this was like a nice little gem. And then we had the top 10 movies. Kelly, would you like to read the top 10 movies on Jackie's list?
I would. Top 10 movies. We've got Fear, The Birdcage, Romeo and Juliet, Jumanji, Scream, Striptease, Matilda, The English Patient, and my personal favorite, The Craft. And you know what? I normally don't. I normally wouldn't plug myself, but I just want to. I just want to say that I chose to wear today my awesome Craft sweatshirt. If you're watching this on YouTube, I actually sell these in my Etsy shop. Maybe I'll post a link on our social media later, but you can get this particular sweatshirt in my Etsy shop. I chose to wear it since we're mentioning it, and I love The Craft. It's one of my favorite.
Such a good movie. Love that movie.
I've seen it so many times. And then she has like a must-see list here: Primal Fear, Kingpin, Spy Hard, Happy Gilmore, and Black Sheep.
Now, could you make out her celeb crush? She has a part in there that says celeb crush, but I feel like it's cut off. I can't read the bottom of it. I mean,
it looks like Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Is it Jonathan Taylor Thomas? Okay, I see the T's. Okay, that makes sense. I was thinking she'd be more of like a Brandon Walsh personally, but you know, or a Zach Morris. I don't know, but yeah, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Home Improvement. All right, that's Jackie's type. The wholesome type. So that's nice.
Yeah.
And then we see Shauna having a flashback. It's her and Jackie sitting in Jackie's room, and they're talking about Jeff. They're kind of devising a plan to find out if Jeff likes Jackie. And then there's more journal stuff going on. We see the MASH game with the husband, Jeff. They have Coach Scott, Travis, and Nick on the list. For job in MASH, SNL, artist, politician, and mom. Mom is the winner there. And then pets, dog, cat, rabbit, or snail. And of course, rabbit. So we have another rabbit mention here too. I mean, rabbits are rampant. They are all over the place.
This whole MASH game thing was really interesting. Like, apparently she's got a little thing for Ben and Travis.
I mean,
who would have thought? Travis didn't really seem like her type.
And maybe that's why, Jackie's a little resentful towards Nat too, right? Nat's hooking up with Travis. He's the only guy there. Nat's the lucky one who's like getting some out there. And, if Jackie had a little tinge of interest, then, perhaps that's what's spawning some of that animosity out there in the wilderness. So,
and apparently she also doesn't plan to be remarkable because she just wants to be a mom.
Right. Oh my God, Mrs. Taylor, you are just
Mrs. Taylor.
Savage. She is so savage.
I know.
And then Shauna finds a photo in the journal of Jackie and Jeff. And then Jeff actually comes up the stairs. Shauna gives the photo to him, and they go back downstairs and rejoin the brunch. And there is a lot of dialogue there.
Yeah. Mrs. Taylor back with her. It keeps getting worse. She tells Shauna that, it couldn't have always been easy for her because Jackie was so gifted. And I can't imagine how exhausting it must have been always comparing yourself to someone so beautiful and smart. And then kudos to Jeff, man. Jeff was the star of the scene. Jeff cuts in and says, Shauna got into Brown. She's the smartest person I've ever met. Shauna and then he decides to drop the bomb. Shauna and I were sleeping together when Jackie and I were still a couple. And he says, which is obviously, a shitty thing, but there it is, because the truth is Jackie was amazing, but so was my damn wife. And she still is. And I may have been an idiot then, but at least I was smart enough to see that. And this really is the best tuna quiche I've ever tasted, Mrs. Taylor.
I love that. This is my MVP moment, is Jeff sticking up for Shauna to Mrs. Taylor. And,
Mhm.
I really appreciated that. I think that he can be a really great husband. He's clearly supportive of Shauna. And even though they got started off on kind of a scandalous note, he's got her back. And that was very apparent here. And I really liked to see that. You could tell that Shauna appreciated it too.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeff won some hearts with that one, I think.
Absolutely.
And of course, Mrs. Taylor is listening to this and still like, giving these looks like how dare they? How dare he defend his wife?
Oh my God. She's the worst. Ugh.
And then we cut over to Taissa and Simone, who are driving back with Sammy from their appointment with the child psychiatrist. And Taissa's distracted and they're arguing about whether or not this is effective. And she almost runs over a cyclist.
I mean, it's the second instance just in this episode where there's almost been an accident, or there was one in Lottie's case, which they, avoided. And luckily, they avoided hitting the cyclist and getting in, a little accident here. So it's interesting that there's two very similar incidents in one episode.
Yeah.
And, oops, sorry.
Oh no, that's okay. Yeah. So it's just too bad that Sammy didn't, have the same kind of
The gift.
supernatural sense that that young Lottie had.
Right? Oh my goodness. He's got his own set of things happening there. So, we'll learn more about that, I'm sure, as time goes on.
Yeah.
And then we go back to the past again. This is kind of funny. Ben approaches Travis and wants to talk to him about safe sex. And he actually gives him an entire stack of condoms. And Travis is like, weren't we only going to be in Seattle for a week? And I mean, there's at least a handful there. I'm going to say there's at least I don't know, a dozen or so in that stack. So, wow, Coach Ben, what did you have in store in Seattle? And don't you have a boyfriend? I mean, I don't know, most likely to blow up Tinder. I don't know. Anyway, so but also very nice that he's trying to be the responsible adult, right? He's the only one here that's kind of, an adult, and he's, trying to do the right thing and give Travis some advice. And, so it's really cute that he's taken that, that role, that kind of fatherly role with Travis, and, giving him the condoms.
I have to say, I loved Travis's facial expressions during the scene. They were really amusing.
Yeah, it was a little bit awkward. I don't think Travis was expecting that at all when, Coach said he had to talk to him. So it was a little moment of humor there. I think that was nice.
Yeah, and he asks Ben, he's like, weren't we only going to be in Seattle for a week? Who were you? And Ben's like, you know what, Travis, that's really not your business. He's like, I think you just made it my business.
Yeah, definitely. He was running for the mayor of Pound Town in Seattle, mayor of Seattle Pound Town, 100%. But he didn't make it, so,
Yeah, exactly. And then we cut back to the present. Natalie's on the phone with Taissa. Taissa says she can't get the money, but Natalie tells her she'll get it and just be ready when this fucker texts again. And we'll find out in just a little bit how she's planning on getting the money. She walks out of her hotel and Kevin shows up, Kevin Tan, with some food. He thought she might be hungry. And she tries to blow him off. She's like, I have stuff to do. And she's like, okay, whatever, fine. You can tag along. And this hurt. I may have shed a tear. She sold her Porsche.
I can't believe she sold it. I cannot believe she sold it.
I love Porsches.
I do too. It was Dylan McKay's classic car in 90210, and for that reason, I've always loved, especially a black Porsche. This is Dylan McKay's car. So I am right with you for a different reason, but can't believe she sold the Porsche.
Oh, God, that was just painful. But yeah, she sells her Porsche and she gets in Kevin's car and he's like, well, I can drop you off unless you want to return the favor. And so she's like, all right, where are we going? So apparently she's going to hang out with him for the day. So
Yes. And then we move back to the past again, and we see Lottie waking up in the middle of the night, and she goes outside with a lantern, and she sees something very disturbing. She
mhm.
sees Taissa out there eating dirt with this like crazy expression on her face. Let's see. She looks like she's like possessed. She's got like dirt in her teeth. She's got this look in her eye. She's clearly not with it.
Yeah,
And I think, I mean, it, clearly disturbed Lottie also. Like, what am I seeing? Am I imagining this? Like in her mind, she's probably like, am I hallucinating? Am I hallucinating? Because obviously it was like a pretty creepy moment. So that was interesting. And this is gonna come back at the end of the episode as well. And then we are back in the present again.
yeah. So Jeff and Shauna, this was really sweet. Jeff and Shauna are driving back from the Taylor's house, and he kind of starts reassuring her. He's like, he doesn't. I don't wish things were different. I don't wish I'd married Jackie. And he says I was just the high school boyfriend. That's all I was ever going to be. But you and I built something and we're still together, and that's got to count for something. And he tells her he loves her, and she grabs his hand. It was really sweet.
It was really sweet. Again, Jeff has these moments of like great husbanding, and this was one of them. And 2 in 1 episode. Good for Jeff. I love that he's, so supportive of her. So
Yeah.
especially when they have some things happening in their marriage. So it's a nice moment.
Yeah, for sure. And then we cut back to Kevin and Nat, who are at his son's soccer game. And so this was kind of cool. He introduces Natalie to his son, and she gives him some playing advice. And then he's like, Kevin mentions that she won state, and he's like, well, you went to nationals, and she kind of, they evade the subject.
Yeah.
But she gives him some playing advice, and it's going really well. He gets back to the game, it's going really well, and then she seems like she gets a little triggered by the whole situation, and she just steps away.
And it was really sweet of her to give that advice. Like that was a really tender moment. I felt like a nice little, nice little tidbit,
Yeah,
for Kevin's son, and the advice worked out, which was even better. But yes, something definitely triggered her. And I mean, who knows if she's even been near a soccer field since all this happened? Like, did they come
right.
back and start playing soccer again? Did any of them ever play again? I don't know. This could have been like the first time she was even at a soccer field. Like, who knows? So but
Yeah,
she definitely walks away like disturbed or, something.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yes. And
And
then we
then we
move back.
get back to the past.
Yes. We see Ty getting dressed and realizes that an underwire in the bra is missing. And then she goes off running for Shauna. So I think she's starting to think, oh my God, like, is she actually going to go through with this abortion? Very intuitive of her to notice the
Yes.
underwire is gone. And can you imagine the moment when Shauna actually is like, you know what, I'm going to do this, and like goes to get the wire out? I mean, like, I just can't imagine what's going through her poor head. Like the fact that she's even considering this in the wilderness. I mean, it's more harmful for her than the baby. I mean, both of them, obviously, but yikes. Oh my God. It was the whole storyline with the DIY abortion was like really hard to watch for me.
Oh my God.
It was, I mean, they really went for it too. So,
Yeah.
but before we get to that, we see Lottie and Laura Lee talking about Lottie's recent visions. She asks Laura Lee if she thinks it's possible that God could be communicating with her, and asks Laura Lee how to accept God into her heart. And Laura Lee says that she has an idea. So, it's interesting because Lottie clearly knows something is going on and is, trying to find something to counteract it, right? And maybe for her that's God. I don't know, but it sounds like Laura Lee's got some kind of a plan. But we first shift back to Shauna preparing to, give herself this DIY abortion. I just, still can't believe that's happening. And as she's, doing that, Laura Lee is baptizing Lottie. So it's like
Mhm.
really one polar opposite scene with another, like one, baptism, one abortion. It's like total opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Taissa ends up finding Shauna and offers to help her, even though Shauna, they'd agreed, that Shauna wouldn't do it. You
This
know,
Taissa definitely gets my MVP for this episode, because I mean, she was begging Shauna not to do this, and she I mean, Shauna basically is just feeling she's going to die either way. If she's going to die if she ends up having to have this baby. And there are other consequences involved with that as well. But she's probably gonna die if she gives herself this awful DIY abortion. Um, so Shauna's basically choosing to die, and Thais has, begged her not to. She does not want her doing this, but she doesn't want her doing this alone. So she, like, talk about selfless. I
wow.
mean, she's wants no part of this, but she steps up and she helps her. And like, just she, help, just basically tries to do it for her. It, like, I could not believe the level of selflessness here. So that totally just Taissa has to get my MVP for this week.
100%. Again, this was hard to watch,
Yeah.
I mean, like they had Shauna sitting there, like with her legs spread, with Taissa with the wire, like inserting it into her. And I
Mhm.
just, oh my God, like, whoo, I am, a totally a pro-choice person, and I respect Taissa so much for helping her friend with this very difficult choice when, again, like Taissa, something she didn't want to do. So,
Yeah. I mean, she just didn't, she didn't want her to die. She didn't think it was worth it. She thought she had a better chance of surviving if she just had this baby. And she was taking on the burden basically of possibly killing her friend.
yeah, I mean, it's crazy, and all because, Shauna feels guilty that it's Jeff's baby. So,
Mhm.
props to the show for tackling such a controversial issue. I mean, abortion is
Yes.
never an easy topic. People are always, on one side or the other. And, with that, again, it's really interesting. They have such a polarizing situation with the DIY
Mhm.
abortion and then the baptism, like all in one, scene. So,
Yeah,
um,
I think, I want to actually kind of give a second MVP mention just to the writers for, I mean, just for this scene, because it's like, it's I applaud them for being brave enough to do this, because it's like they took a very real situation that happens, women getting abortions because they don't have another option. And they here's a girl that thinks she's going to die if she has this baby. And I was really proud of them for taking that on.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. And so we shift from like Ty pulling the wire out of Shauna's vagina, and we see Lottie and Laura Lee with their baptism, and all of a sudden, Lottie's underwater, and she starts this having this weird vision. She's like falling underwater. She's walking through like this wet hallway underground, and she then sees a deer. So we have another hallucination here, and a staircase leading to an altar full of, excuse me, candles. And it's very creepy. Like she's wet, she's in this dark
Mhm.
tunnel, there's a deer. So it's kind of a creepy situation.
Yeah.
So she gets to the altar of candles. She ends up lighting one. And as she's looking at Laura Lee from underwater, she suddenly sees her face go black. And it looks like there's some kind of like explosion that's happening behind her. So it's, a little bit of maybe a vision here, which we could
Mhm.
touch upon in our spoiler segment after we're done covering the episode. So that was a very intense scene between Lottie's hallucination with the baptism, Shauna's DIY abortion, and then we're whooshed back to the present once more.
Yeah. And Natalie's off by herself smoking a cigarette, and they're still at the soccer game. Kevin comes and finds her and tells her that the move that she suggested helped them win the game. and she asks where Mace is, his son, and he says he went off with a friend for pizza, and she says keep him away from the crazy lady, huh? And this part just was so heartbreakingly sweet. It was just, as somebody who actually like has been through trauma and has some PTSD issues, like this, oh my God, this just was so sweet. It broke my heart. He grabs her hand and he says, I don't think you're crazy. You've been through a lot, and that's okay with me. Oh God, like Kevin, I'm married, but Kevin Tan, will you be my secret boyfriend?
Oh my God. I mean, that is so nice. Just, being accepting and being like a listening ear, I think are two of the best things you can do for someone, that has had some trauma. So he really is. I mean, this is very touching. You are so spot on with that.
Yeah.
Kevin Tan, we love you.
Yes, we do. Yeah, and then we get back to the past.
Yes, we see Nat and Travis fooling around, and
Travis not as sweet as Kevin Tan.
Yes, not as sweet as Kevin Tan. But Kevin, he's grown up now, so
Yes.
he's, who I mean, we never saw adult Travis. Hopefully in future episodes we'll see some kind of like flashbacks, where we see how adult Travis turned out. We don't really know. But anyway, they're fooling around. Travis gets embarrassed, and then a condom falls out of his pocket. And they decide to have sex, but then they get into an argument about Travis's comments that he makes, which are all very misogynistic. He says, so Nat replies and says, the 50s called, they want your dumbass attitude back. And then, she also throws in the welcome to 1996. Our vaginas have like monologues now. That was completely classic. And then, Travis tells Natalie that he's a virgin. And, he's was trying to feel out how many guys like Natalie's been with. Like, am I going to be like number 1? Am I going to be like number 10? Whatever. Really none of his business anyway.
Yeah.
But Natalie does tell him that, she's been with 2 guys, and no matter what Jackie says, it does mean something to her, especially with him. And I mean, you can see them looking at each other. You see that there's chemistry and she likes him. Like she mentioned one of the guys was some older guy at like a party or something. And, it didn't mean anything. So she's trying to say, that guy didn't mean anything, but like, you mean something to me, Travis, like kind of reading between the lines a little bit. And then they start making out again, and then they actually stop because Travis sees a deer, and here's their big opportunity to hopefully shoot one and get some food.
Yeah. And then we don't actually get to see them hunt down the deer. We immediately cut to Misty, who gets my most likely to for this week. She's watching Natalie and Kevin getting it on via her hidden camera. So I gave Misty this week most likely to sell your sex tape.
Oh my God. Good one.
But she then calls Jessica, and Jessica agrees to meet her.
What I thought was interesting though about that phone call was she says to Jessica, your plan's not working. And Jessica says, oh, that's rich. And it's like, okay, like what's going on between Misty and Jessica Roberts, right? I mean, am I missing something here? Like what's that about? What is that about?
Yeah, well, I mean, we know Jessica's been following Misty around because she knew about the road trip. But yeah, who knows? There's so many questions about Jessica. I'm hoping that some of them get answered next season.
I mean, I certainly hope so. But I thought that was like kind of a strange little comment. And of course, we know everything they do is intentional. So, little bit suspect. But anyway.
Yes. And and then Shauna and Jeff are back home. And Shauna's kind of just sitting there hanging out, and Adam just has been texting her all day and into the evening, and she's just been completely ignoring him. And, she had this really nice moment with Jeff earlier. So you're kind of thinking like, okay, maybe she thinks they're going to be okay now because, she's still thinking about this possible affair that Jeff is having, which is why she hooked up with Adam in the first place. And, you think maybe she's just kind of like trying to cut him loose. But then Jeff pops around the corner and says that he has to go back into the store because
the inventory database. God, Jeff, your damn inventory database strikes again. Ugh, worst excuse ever. Oh, and quarterly taxes. Let's not forget quarterly taxes. So, double whammy apparently.
Yeah. And so he's got to go back in, and she actually offers to come with him, and he's like, no, it'll be really boring. Why don't you get a jump on your book club? Which I found that
Shauna's like,
hilarious.
okay, I'm gonna read away, Jeff.
You bet I'll get a jump on that book club.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But so she texts Adam back, and after that, so I guess like she thought maybe like she and Jeff were gonna be okay, and then no, he's going off to meet with this Bianca chick, or that's what she's thinking in her head. Mm-hmm. So she texts Adam back, lie down on the floor, face down. Maybe I'll be there in 45 minutes. Maybe I won't.
I loved that. It's not only like buying her time to decide if she's going to come or not, but it's like, she's like trying to dominate him, which, I think is kind of cool. Like, good for her for taking that role. I think it's like kind of fun. And you know what? She did seem like she was considering, things with Jeff better after their nice tender moments here, but clearly like she's like, you know what, fuck it, he's gonna go fuck that bitch, I am gonna go and do my own thing too. So Shauna is probably going to book club tonight.
Yep, she's gonna get a jump on that book club.
Yes, she is. Jump right on it, right between the pages.
Yep. And then so then we cut over to Misty is showing up in her car, in her hospital green Fiat, and Jessica gets in the car and she immediately drugs her. She sticks a syringe in Jessica's leg and she passes out. And then, okay, by the way, the whole time this is happening, the Phantom of the Opera overture is playing, which I thought was hilarious.
That was hilarious, and was like, there was not a lot of songs in this episode, but that was probably like my choice of favorite song because it was just so incredibly appropriate for that moment. And like Misty's done all this prep, right? She's like, prepared and compounded all of her drugs and mixed like just the right mixture into the syringes to go drug her. So it's totally a premeditated thing, and Phantom of the Opera just kind of adds to that drama a little bit. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. And then we see Jessica later waking up chained to Misty's bed in the basement with duct tape over her mouth. And Misty has a great line here. She's at the top of the stairs and she says, "Good night, sleep tight. Don't let the fact that you're a horrible person keep you up at night."
And she's so creepy. She's like standing at the top of the stairs in the shadows in her blue jumpsuit and gloves, and like, I mean, like that's like very serial killer behavior. Everything about this, it's taking a prisoner, chaining them up in your basement. Misty fucking Quigley strikes again.
I would not want to, I wouldn't want to wake up and chained to anybody's basement bed, but I definitely would not want to wake up chained to Misty fucking Quigley's basement.
Misty fucking Quigley. We actually should always refer to her as Misty fucking Quigley anytime she's doing something questionable. So
yes.
Good old MFQ.
I agree.
And so we then get back to the past timeline again. Nat and Travis come back to camp with the deer. It was shedding its velvet just like Lottie's vision. They cut it open and it's full of maggots and it is disgusting. Like, it is gross. Like, I mean, I like wanted to vomit in my mouth. Like, maggots are disgusting. The poor deer, like obviously rotting from the inside. Like, what's going on with this deer that it's literally like dead on the inside? That is disgusting.
Seriously. Oh God.
Oh my God.
Somebody made the comment that they could have actually gathered up the maggots and cooked them and ate them. But can you like,
does heat kill like that like whatever gross disease the deer had. Like, I don't know what like a lot about animal diseases, but like, does he
Yeah, I don't really
kill
either.
that? Is it better to like eat whatever nastiness is in there, hope for the best, or not eat? I mean, I don't know, but
Yeah.
yuck. Like, can you
Yeah, I
imagine
know.
eating maggots? I've had like chocolate covered grasshoppers. Those weren't my favorite. I
Oh,
can't imagine eating maggots. Like, I would never be able to do a survivor eating bug challenge, like
oh God,
never.
no.
So anyway,
Oh,
cooking maggots, disgusting. Anyway, so Laura Lee actually ends up telling Lottie that she's not crazy, that she has a gift. Ty tells everyone they can no longer count on anyone rescuing them, and that she's leaving in the morning, and anybody who wants to can come with her. You know, and clearly this is going to cause some disagreement because obviously not everybody wants to go. But then we get back to the present timeline.
yes. And you know, Nat is Kevin Tan spent the night. And Natalie's laying in bed. Kevin's still there, and she gets a text, and it's from the blackmailer, and they want to make the drop at 2 a.m. And then we immediately cut to the lady in the tree.
Oh my God.
Apparently Taissa.
Oh my God.
She's squatting in this tree, just in a complete trance. And she has a gigantic bite taken out of her hand.
Like an animal bit her.
It's, well, you know, if that's what a lot of people thought, and that's what I thought at first. But if you look at it, it looks very much like human teeth marks.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I think she actually bit
herself. Wow.
Yeah.
Is there like, is there a name for that? Like, you know, like biting yourself, like how you like, you know, pulling your hair out. How's a thing? Like, is there a name for that? We'll have to look that up.
You know, I used to have, well, I still kind of have night terrors, but when I was a kid, and we'd go on vacation, I would share a bed with my sister, and I would have night terrors, and I would actually bite her.
Oh my goodness.
And I never bit myself. I would hurt myself in my sleep in other ways. Like once I like sliced I sliced my leg.
Oh my God.
With a knife. Like, yeah, I've done all kinds of crazy shit in my sleep.
Wow.
But yeah, I don't even know if I should really be talking about that publicly, because I might get like locked
Hey,
up.
you know what? Own it, and we all have our things. And you know what? Once I peeled the computer keys off of my laptop in my sleep, like,
Oh my
like
gosh.
in my sleep, like there were no keys left on my keyboard when I woke up. So that was really like, I have no idea what I was dreaming about. But so anyway, I don't know.
Now, if you know, if we have any kind of any murdery listeners or viewers, you know, I've basically just given them my night terrors as a way to blame their crimes on me.
Well, hopefully nobody will do that. Hopefully nobody will do that. So I don't know if there's a name for like biting yourself, but I do know like the eating dirt thing, or like eating paper, I believe is called pica. Yes. So like, you know, Ty could have pica, and I believe like the eating dirt and paper is from a nutritional deficiency. You know, I don't know what the vitamin or mineral or whatever is, but so anyway, you know, her eating the dirt out in the woods could be like, you know, she's suffering from some like deficiency. It could be that she's in some trance and like, you know, doing some crazy thing because of the trauma. It could be a number of things. But anyway, now we know that back in the future timeline, you know, Ty is also eating dirt. So has she been eating dirt the whole time? Did something trigger her in the present for her to like turn into this lady in the tree biting herself with, you know, dirt in her mouth? I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows?
But yeah, her phone seems to snap her out of it. It wakes her up, and she checks her text messages, and Nat says it's go time. So they that's pretty much the end of the episode. So I'm excited to cover next week, because where it goes from there is really fun.
Yes. And next week is No Compass, and the description for No Compass is: as starvation looms, Taissa leads a last-ditch effort and or suicide mission. The Yellowjackets are forced to commit small talk. I thought I was going to say something else, but I like how they do these little descriptions. But,
I do too.
Saints was a very action-packed episode. Just kind of recapping, your MVP you mentioned was Taissa.
Mm-hmm. Yes, for her selflessness and helping Shauna. It was yeah. With
Yep.
an honorary mention to the writers for just tackling that material.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I've got to agree with you there. I also did, think that Jeff deserved an MVP for really sticking up for Shauna at the Taylors at brunch. I thought that was really nice. Most likely to. Yours was fantastic. Misty fucking Quigley.
Yes. Most
Most
likely to steal your sex tape.
Yes, I loved that. And you know what? Mine, I guess would be Coach Ben, most likely to blow up Tinder in a city he's visiting. Given his large array of condoms.
Yes.
And we usually pick our favorite songs. I did like the Phantom of the Opera, but what I liked about this episode and the 90s moments, I mentioned My Little Pony, but I also really like Jackie's journal, right? Because not only did we get mentions of music, I loved Ironic by Alanis on that list. And what was your pick? Oh,
Doing
Doing
it.
It.
Yeah.
Doing It. That's right. And we got to see all those, like all the cool movies, like you mentioned The Craft. So I thought those little journal entries were nice little nostalgia nods for this episode.
I want to
And
give a my favorite 90s moment was probably the craft mention in there, but I want to give a an honorary mention to Jackie's slouch socks.
oh yes, oh my God, slouch socks, those were good times. That's something I can't ever see coming back into fashion, like
No.
highly unlikely, highly unlikely. And you had pulled a few cute quotes, from this episode. Van and her classic one-liner, "I hear it's beaver season." I thought that was an enjoyable Van line. We have Shauna, "I'm in the middle of nowhere," and the OBGYN on call is Misty fucking Quigley. Totally classic.
Yeah.
And then, we have Shauna getting her little bunny at the Taylor's house and telling them, "I don't even like my daughter." So that was funny. And of course, as we already mentioned, Nat's "Welcome to 1996. Our vaginas have like monologues now." So
Yes.
there were some very clever one-liners in there. Okay, so I am going to put up our spoilers ticker here, and we
Right.
are going to give everybody maybe like a 30-second countdown. So if you have not watched ahead in Yellowjackets, we encourage you to turn off the podcast, stop watching. We're going to talk about some storylines that happen in future episodes and kind of break down how they relate to this episode. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have officially entered spoilers territory.
Yes, we have.
And one of the ones I wanted to mention was when Lottie was getting baptized. We kind of mentioned this earlier. When she's coming back from her vision, hallucination, whatever you want to call it, she sees this like explosion behind Laura Lee. And of course, I was thinking it's got to be in relation to the plane crash, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
we know Laura Lee does in fact fly the plane, her and her teddy bear Leonard, and the plane blows up. So
Yeah.
we can pretty much confirm that Lottie can see the future. Like, she obviously sees this happening. It ties right back to the beginning of the episode where we see her having this vision about the accident. So I've got to say, like, we need to give a lot of credibility to these things that Lottie is seeing. I mean, that definitely confirms for me that she's got some kind of a gift.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting because so far we've really only seen supernatural things going on with two of the members of the group, Taissa and Lottie.
Yep.
And there was a mention about warring tribes, about it turning into like, some kind of war between like two factions. And I'm wondering, it'll be really interesting to see how Taissa and Lottie are involved in that and how they're their own different supernatural phenomenons that are going on with them affect it, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. And too with that is, all the animal hallucinations and visions that we're seeing, like, those probably tie into which girl is which animal, you know.
Hmm.
Like, Shauna, we see all the bunny stuff. We see Ty with the wolf stuff, even though we also know that like Van, gets her face eaten by a wolf as well. So there's a little wolf action there with both of them. And we
Yeah.
see Lottie, with the deer. Multiple times. And, there was a scene in here when Lottie was stepping outside to go out to the woods with the lantern to go see Ty, where she kind of like steps in front of the antlers that are mounted on the wall.
Yeah.
And she's standing front and center there. And like the antlers are sticking, out of her head. And for me, I'm like, Lottie's got to be the antler queen. I mean, there are just multiple things. Like we know that Lottie is alive in the future, or the present timeline. She's seeing all these visions of the deer. She's standing there and they give us this very strong visual of the antlers coming out of her head. So, I think there's something to that.
I think so too. I'm totally prepared though, because they made it kind of obvious that that's where they're going with it. So I'm totally prepared for them to pull the rug out from under us, and
Right? Could be like the biggest red herring of all. I mean,
yeah.
they're totally leading us, to think it's Lottie. And hey, maybe they fooled me, but
Mhm.
you're probably right. Like it can't be that easy. I mean, they have not made anything that easy for figuring out. So
Yeah, they really haven't. And I would love to. I didn't pick up on a lot of symbolism in Lottie's like long vision sequence where she was walking underground with the water, and I mean obviously, she was in the water, so I'm sure that's why she was having these visions. And also Laura Lee, the plane exploded over the water. But I but yeah, there was a lot of imagery in that vision that I'm curious about if we'll find out more about, or if it was just kind of random, or who knows. There wasn't really anything that stood out,
there
that
wasn't. I mean, there were all those candles, and they did just have the seance with the
Mhm.
candles. Like maybe it's just recall of, something that just happened. But like the dark, the tunnel, the wetness, the water, like, I mean, that could all be very symbolic of something.
Yeah.
TBD, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Um and did you have any more on that you wanted to add?
No, we can move on to the next spoiler topic, which is Shauna struggling over the guilt with Jackie's death.
Yeah, and I don't I wasn't sure if she kind of when she sees Jackie has been kind of acting as her conscience. We saw her a couple, was it, I forget which, was it one episode or 2 episodes ago, where she jumped in the water with Adam, and she saw her on the bridge.
Oh, yeah,
And
that was 2 episodes ago, and then at the same episode, she saw her at the Halloween rave too, so
yeah, and
yep.
it definitely seems more of a situation where Jackie is kind of, it's like an internal conversation Shauna's having with herself, and she's not hallucinating Jackie. She's basically just Jackie's kind of acting as her conscience. And Jackie says it's not your fault, and Shauna says, I know. And she says, actually, no, you don't know. It was totally your fault. So that kind of says to me that, I think Shauna does struggle with that a little bit. I don't think she's like racked with guilt over feeling like Jackie's death was her fault, because they got in this big fight, and she basically was the reason that Jackie went outside, and Jackie ultimately died due to her stubbornness.
Froze to death
Um,
because she was a stubborn bee.
yeah, but I mean, obviously, if that happens, I mean, if you put yourself in Shauna's shoes, everyone's gonna feel responsible for that. And Shauna is, I think, having a really realistic reaction here. Like, she's basically saying, I'm acknowledging this isn't my fault. Jackie could have easily come in, but I think a part of her is still struggling with that and still feels responsible. And that could be why she subjects herself to going over to the tailors every year for for
I mean,
Jackie's birthday.
you've got to hand it to her. Like for Jackie's mom being such a bitch, and for her to continue putting herself in that situation year after year, she is putting the Taylor's feelings ahead of her own because clearly she doesn't want to be there. But she does feel that she should be. It could be the guilt. I mean, Jackie was her best friend, but
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, it's a tough situation. Like I can't imagine living with all that trauma and the guilt of your best friend and having her best friend's baby, or we don't know if she has the baby, but getting impregnated by her best friend's boyfriend, none of that's good.
Yeah, no, it's not. And ultimately it seems like Shauna and Jeff were really meant to be together way more than Jeff and Jackie were. But so, even if Jackie had lived, I think he ended up with the right person. But I
Yep.
I think part of her still feels like she's living the life that Jackie was supposed to have.
Right. Even though Jeff acknowledged, like,
Yeah.
Jackie was meant to be my high school girlfriend. Like, I was the high school boyfriend. That was my time. That was me. So I think Jeff is self aware enough to realize that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was you know, if you have not watched ahead and you saw this, maybe you're starting to get like an inkling like, oh, what does Shauna feel guilty for, right? And we know Jackie's dead, like what part did she have to do with it? So um anyway, kind of depressing, but one other spoiler thing I wanted to mention too was, we touched upon Misty and Jessica Roberts conversation. Of course, we know that in the present timeline, Misty ends up drugging Jessica Roberts' cigarette, and Jessica leaves Misty's house and gets in a car crash. Now, we assume she's probably dead. I mean, I guess there's a chance that, there could be an officer ambulance and they revive her with Narcan. I don't believe the writers confirmed that she's 100% dead. Do you know if they have confirmed that? I did not read anything about that.
I don't think they confirmed it, but I mean, you have such a limited amount of time. I mean, I don't think it would if Jessica survives, I think it's gonna require major suspension of disbelief.
Yes. Yep.
I
So,
mean,
and like that goes to like, but if Misty's like killing her, is she killing her because she doesn't want her to tell what, like, she was locked in her basement and all that? Or
mhm.
is there more to it? Like, is Misty involved? Like we were kind of discussing earlier. I don't know.
Yeah, or I mean, is it possible that maybe she didn't put fentanyl or whatever in the cigarettes? Maybe she like just put something in there to knock her out and she wanted to scare her. I mean, I guess that's a possibility too, but that seems unlikely to me. I think Jessica's dead.
I would agree that she's probably dead. And it's better that way because it actually creates even more mystery. Because now we're not
Yeah.
going to know like who she was, like what her actual plan was, who she was really working for. Was it Ty, Missy? I don't know.
Mhm.
So anyway, it'll be interesting to see, how soon into season 2 we figure out what did or did not happen to Jessica Roberts.
Yeah, Natalie is the only one we haven't seen her talk to,
That's
which is
right.
interesting.
And she was the
Um,
one that wanted to like call and get her there. Whereas everybody else is like, no, 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 let's not do that. So, like, for me, Natalie has zero involvement whatsoever with Jessica Roberts,
yeah.
or they're making it seem like she doesn't, and maybe she does. But I don't know. I'm doubtful. I doubt that that Nat and Jessica are in cahoots, but who knows?
I think yeah, I don't think they are. I really don't. I actually where I'm kind of seeing this going, I think Natalie and Misty, I think this could end up being a situation where like Natalie and Misty are on one side and Shauna and Taissa are on another. Um, because Natalie's the only one that Misty has been interacting with in the present timeline.
That's true.
Um, yeah, so it's interesting. I think Shauna knows a lot more about stuff that we haven't heard her acknowledge or seen her acknowledge.
Like the postcard, where did she get the postcard from,
Yeah,
right? Did she get it and she didn't tell them? Did she take it from them? We don't know. Like, what's up, Shauna?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So it's really confusing, and I think the show is so brilliant at generating hype just by leaving all of these. If they don't leave all these questions unanswered in a way that just makes you frustrated and makes you just want to give up on the show. And that's where the brilliant writing comes in. It's so compelling, and the answers that the revelations that they're giving you are so compelling that you want to stick around, and you keep talking about it, and you keep talking about what you want to find out in the next season. So they've really just, man, from a marketing perspective, they really nailed it.
They're so smart. I mean, it's been some of the best writing. And, what's going to be really interesting is once we do get more answers, like going back and realizing, oh my God, like this XYZ was a huge Easter egg and we totally missed it. Or, it's something that we saw and said, I knew it. I knew that was an Easter egg. Like maybe the photo on Shauna's family wall of the two girls. We had posted that on social media, I believe. So jersey numbers was another thing you brought up. Like maybe there's some Easter eggs in there with jersey numbers. I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see like some of the clues they've scattered that we've either missed or picked up on, and how everything ends up unraveling in season 2. And we've got a long road ahead. I mean, there are 5 seasons slated, so they've got a long time to slowly untwist some of these things.
And I think that there's been so much set up with Misty just being completely unhinged. And I mean, she destroyed the flight recorder. She very well, could be the reason that they were stuck there for as long as they were. She's done a lot of crazy shit. I mean, she was following Natalie around. She poisoned Ben in the past, and she's now watching Natalie on camera. And Misty is definitely not somebody that's completely hinged. That's for sure.
No, normal, normal people. I shouldn't say normal. Actually, that's not like the right word. I should say, most people don't drug and, chain people to beds in their basement or drug them, or, drugging seems to be a big theme. But yeah, I mean, Misty is quite the character, that MFQ.
Yeah. But, I kind of, the more we cover the show, I really feel like a lot of it, I don't know that red herring is the right term for it, because it's stuff that's actually going on, stuff that's happening.
Right.
But I think they're pulling focus away, and they're focusing on all these crazy things that Misty is doing, like messing with Natalie's car, and to make you kind of suspect that she might be behind stuff, when I'm convinced right now that she's, even the spying on Natalie, I think a lot of what she's doing right now in the present timeline is to protect Natalie. I think she knows about stuff that's going on that others don't know she knows about. And I think everything that she's doing right now might be to protect her.
I can see that, because there's clearly like something between the two of them, nasty, Misty and Nat. But yeah, it's I cannot wait to uncover more into their relationship. You've talked about that before too, like, what's happened between the two of them to, bring them to this current state of their relationship. So I am very excited to learn more in season 2.
Yeah, so am I. God. It's God, the more I keep thinking about it, I really hope that we see, because in the trailer, we saw an adult Travis running out of his house, and we never got that scene.
No.
And it seems to have happened like shortly before his death, because it was at nighttime. He was wearing the same clothes. And he was running out looking frantic. I really hope that we get that, because they might have taken it out because maybe there was something that they didn't want to reveal too soon. Who knows? But, I think it's even possible that Misty messed with Natalie's car so she could join her on this road trip, because she knew something was up, and she,
I mean, that would have saved Natalie maybe from like getting murdered also. Like if she had gone on the trip by herself, like, she would have got there, and who knows, maybe she found Travis, maybe the cult was there killing him and she would have died. So like maybe Misty saved her life inadvertently by messing with her car. So that's an interesting theory.
Yeah. And, and Taissa, refused to bail them out of jail, which is what makes me think that Taissa might have been connected to Travis's murder.
Oh God, so many different things. So many
Yeah.
things. All right. Well, let's cut our spoiler segment for the week. I think we've covered some future stuff pretty well.
Yeah.
Again, we're going to cover No Compass, which is Yellowjackets episode 7 next week. But before we go, we just want to kind of plug our merch. Today, I'm actually wearing my Peace, Love, and
Very
Yellowjackets hoodie.
Yeah.
We've got lots of merch available at antlerqueenspodcast.com. We've got some fun Citizen Detectives merch. We've got some of our logo gear. We've got some fun No Book Club stuff. We've got the Peace, Love, and Yellowjackets. We've got some Yellowjackets merch, all different things. One of my favorites is actually the Doom Coming 96. I wear my black Doom Coming 96 tank top all the time now. So again, we'd love your support. Thank you to everyone who's already made a purchase. You can visit antlerqueenspodcast.com. So do go check that out. We hope you'll follow us on social media if you don't already. We are at the Antler Queens on Instagram and Twitter, and facebook.com/the Antler Queens. And if you would like to follow us individually, I am at Media Melanie, and Kelly is at Antler Queen Kel with 1 L.
Yep. Yeah, I tried to get my full name in there, but I ran out of characters.
Well, I think it's a really great handle, so please go follow us. And thank you for tuning in. For everybody that's watched or listened, we just really appreciate your support. And again, encourage you to contact us anytime with things you'd like us to discuss, theories, like favorite nostalgia things, whatever. If you've got a fun edit that won't get flagged on YouTube, send it to us. But we want to get the fans involved. So again, hit us up anytime. We are here for all things Yellowjackets.
Yep, we sure are.
All right. And with that, hey, Kelly.
What's up?
Buzz off.
Buzz off.
All right. Antler Queens out.